This is Zane. I have returned with a proclamation to the President of my nation. I'm going to say this a few more times, then the subject matter is going to have to, let's just say, sharpen up, but the dialogue is going to have to dull up one of the latter, one of the many. This is Zane. First of all, as I pray to the one true God, the creator of the sun, the moon, the stars, the animals, this earth, other planets, and us human beings, to name a few. As I write this, I do wish that you, Mr. President of this great nation, Donald J. Trump, do also pray to God as you embark on something far bigger than you have ever been a part of or have seemed to have imagined. There are reasons why the moon rotates the earth, why this planet is mostly water, and why there is an Egyptian pyramid with an eye on the dollar bill of this country. You are officially prophesized as having a significant role in human history. Being in control of another human being or a nation, in that fact, has been coveted by many. The rewards, the possibilities, the ramifications of mind control, not for this statement. You, Mr. Trump, have been rewarded with holding the most intricate, complex, sophisticated, not just political or position of power, but the most complex vantage and invariable filled sequence of events ever documented in modern human history. You are scheduled to be the leader of the free world in the great enlightening year of 2020, when spirituality, science, and cerebral understanding of it all, plus the all-seeing eye, will reveal itself in disguise in plain sight to the worthy. It will be a beautiful and prophesized catalyst for all the great luminaries, scientists, logistics specialists, and virus specialists, artists, teachers, and other specialists who are currently trying to use their best minds and best hearts to help this amazing planet that has provided all we need to survive, thrive, and feel alive. Over time, the way people interpret things, communicate together, or even learn about the history and planet has become filtered in so many ways that there are people in this country and others who cannot decipher or accept the things they see or are told or even experience with their seven senses as the truth, let alone promises to make this country great again. Donnie Boy, Don, the Donster, America is being great. Life isn't always about the headlines, the problems, and the drama from east of the Appalachians to west of the Rocky Mountains or Grand Canyon. So in one glance, you can see the beauty this country has to offer. All of us in it need to be better, kinder, and more aware of this life we've been gifted. It seems that if you cannot accept the fact that you are a complete political and foreign policy novice who currently has prejudice, fascist, misogynic, and other viewpoints that are deeply rooted in your brain's neurons wiring system after years of winning manipulation games, psychological warfare, herd trick, and being praised and hidden in your inability to correctly process information. Then the art of mastering face and shock value, gaslighting, herd trick, and modern media business connections via brand personality dialogue and other advertisement entities, and the ability to infringe your thoughts, energy, and aura onto others. Those combinations of attributes are understandably causing the few vantage points in which you exist in the rest of this world in 2017. People of this earth have long misinterpreted okay ways to admire celebrities, and celebrities have long taken advantage of their fans to different degrees of severity. The culmination of everything modern entertainment, technological advancements surrounding the media, the illusions, the dangers of superstardom, the content that is absorbed, made, and advertised, not to mention the millions that use social media to satisfy holes in their minds and hearts, are all in play or for harmful purposes. Cause and effect, gravitational pull, yin yang, the wall, the mirror, or the camera hangs on, the philosophy of free will, patterns of time, sociological illusions, mind control, soul searching, soul taking, frustrations of the confused, mass hysteria, detachment from thyself. It all ties directly to you, the leader of the free world. The world needs to rise to a point where we hold ourselves, our leaders, and others more accountable and are more forgiving of ourselves and others. We are all on this planet together. A leader who does not wholeheartedly care for all his people must assume they will either come together or destroy one another. But which would this leader have happen? I, for one, would love to see something happen that you have not wished for, and that is global world peace between countries and any other fighting groups, and suspensions of all weapons traded and sold and bought around the world, so one day people will be able to freely travel outside man-made borders to see all the beauty this world has to offer. You make good people feel bad emotions that some are unable to surrender to. This country would be a better one if the rest of the planet heals, survive, and thrive. That is a fair assertion. With known mainstream corporations reaping benefits of crossbreed theories, ancient teachings, and magic-related content such as Doctor Strange, Young Pope, Mr. Robot, Ancient Aliens, The Matrix, Stranger Things, and many others before the current ones that laid the foundations for people to wonder about human and cosmic potential conspiracies of all kinds. Sacred mysteries and the ways to live without formal government should be drawn up soon, thanks to realm shifters such as Brian Greene, Sigmund Freud, Da Vinci, Shia LaBeouf, Ed Snowden, Ilana Glazer, Abby Jacobson, Albert Einstein, Dan Brown, Kid Cudi, J.K. Rowling, Robin Williams, John Lennon, MLK, Bob Marley, JFK, Tupac Shakur, Rod Sterling, Dave Chappelle, M. Night Shyamalan, Buddha, Aztec Shifter, Merlin the Wizard, King Tut, Bao Dai, Bruce Lee, George Lucas, to name a few. The legends known and unknown of the past, and now the underground speakers who keep alive messages of the light while risking their lives will always be alive. Then imagery and word masters who are exposing threads of reality known by the world and unknown and everyday everyday beginners are becoming intermediates to the mediums. Then with people who are not so aware but enjoy infringing on other people's reality seen on social media accounts, signs of all kinds, graffiti, posters, subtle notes, phantom practices, along with artificial intelligence investments by companies such as Apple and Google. Then with groups such as the Illuminati, Freemasons, Bureaus of Government, and other alliances having problems with infighting, data leaks, and moles while still trying to play their game. You like to cause fear in people, so therefore you have much fear in you. History and the future are watching these very moments in and outside of the space-time continuum. The all-seeing eye sees all. The all-seeing eye sees all. Your lie about donating 10 grand, let alone a penny, to any 9/11 fund should have halted your campaign due to the nature of the lie and the hypocrisy of your motives. It's contradictory to your desire to quote-unquote protect this country and quote-unquote fight terrorism. In a devastating time for this country, you were nowhere to be found. Although you lived up the road, you were MIA. You had much more than the supposed 10 grand and had a lot of resources like rooms, bathrooms, food, and clothes that could have been used for good. The same with every New York City disaster or tragedy, let alone any tragedy in the rest of this country. You were nowhere to be found, but now that you are the political figure, we all know that you care now. Most of us Americans do not have the luxury most of us Americans, let me get this right. Most of us Americans do not have the luxury to not be held accountable for mistakes that are made in a manner that causes others harm with an intent to harm, like you are accused of doing, then to not only show any compassion, the accusation within the situation took place, you opt to a childish way of switching the blame, all while demanding everyone show you an undeserving respect, obedience, and borderline worship. There are lives, livelihood, and life at stake here for this planet. This is real life, bruh. Your lack of compassion, the key trait for being a leader, will be exposed even more than it has ever been. Not to mention your lack of real foot on the avenues and real New York City experiences is also a telltale sign you are not a true New Yorker. To touch briefly on your incoming administration, let's begin with the youngest you will be serving. It is not okay if children use you as an excuse to not condone themselves in a fair and respectable manner. It's imperative the youngest know they can win the game without playing outside the rules, low blow trash talking, and to think before they speak or type, and to be all about the facts. The fact that you were not properly tested on American history, your checkered past, your Christian faith, foreign policy, and domesticated issues, the many on-record untrue and hateful statements, then to have close to zero resistance from your political peers to stop you, it seems very clear you will prophesize to be the 45th President of the United States of America. I know why I stumbled that, because I really supposed to emphasize that the prophecies that ring true obviously have been prophesied before. A little bit of philosophy for anyone checking. It's very clear you've been prophesied to be the 45th President of the United States. But sir, you're halfway through the proclamation of the President of my nation. Halfway through. But sir, I promise you, many people across the globe are ready to help discover and really lead this planet in ways you cannot comprehend. It is no coincidence that many research groups of scientific, spiritual, and magic-related studies are all closer to the past and future than ever before, due to diligent work ethic and the appreciation of all knowledge and love passed on by past people of this earth. You try to defend your reputation, all while trying to tarnish others. Far as the official metric and qualifications for the job you are in, you do not fit the appropriate standards. You had the least experience and you lost the debates. Anyone questioning your legitimacy has the right to do so. For the long-term health of this country, we need all continents and the ones within them to prosper. We would not be the great country we are without people from all over the planet. Excluding the agendas of other presidents, why did George Washington, the founding father, and the founding fathers, Ben Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Sam Adams, and Hamilton, that was off by the way. Why did the fact escape from the father country to our country? Why? The obsession you have with eradicating the works of your predecessors that is laid in stone or on paper is unnecessary and correlates with problems in your psyche. If this was a movie, it would be a great saga, but this is real, this is live, this is now. With that being said, Donnie boy, you are not the root of the problem in this country. You are the apple that has blossomed. You are the effect of the cause. You are the red and the green lights of many intersecting roads. There will be a time when your followers and antagonizers will find out you were not the man they thought ought to be. No turning blame on your horribly picked staff like Carson and Bannon or your son-in-law, etc. When a member of your regime gives you a briefing, how will you know if the info is true? Will you for once hold yourself accountable and, to be honest with yourself, to shortly elaborate on initial reactions from the election? Some Americans felt helpless and sad and angry. They let the country get to this point where just some of them do not know is that they have been influencing the cultural landscape in the words, actions, info, and imagery they chose to be at the forefront of their conscious without maybe knowing it. Some of your haters made it acceptable for you to stroll on in to the Oval Office. Excuse me. A little crisp out here, a little chilly by the way, but the night brought me back. The night brought me back. You are a man of impulse, but only certain impulses. You do not know what it's like to go from the ground with nothing to the top. That's the ultimate American success story. Your failed business ventures, failure to diversify your portfolio or invent new business models, and obvious unwillingness to put anything before yourself, your hypocritical attitude and unwillingness for a fair fight or verbal exchange, and to not disassociate from hateful groups who support you are all telltale signs. You seem to see things like precious resources, time, U.S. soldiers, and any other assets as pawns in your game. All the while, you are a pawn of many others, notably Vladimir Putin's game, whose intentions are clear, and he seems to be 10 steps ahead of you at the moment. This earth is not that kind of playground. Your social media addictions, your thin skin, and need to jump to incoherent conclusions will not be of any help. I'm going to say it one more time. Damn, I wrote that. Wow, yes I did. Your social media addictions, your thin skin, and need to jump to incoherent conclusions will not be of any help. There is a labyrinth of ways to explain the totalities of the paradox known as racism, race problems, all that. And with problems with and within people of different skin complexions, pigmentations, chosen or given forms of worship. Only I and a few living individuals can. I will attempt that feat at a later juncture. But to quote-unquote brief you, Mr. President, after your win, people were as sure about how they viewed people more than they ever have been. For you, a creature, an animal, unlike any other, who waited for this time on purpose, like a true capitalist, to jump in the game. When if in your eyes America has fallen from grace, where were you to help in that juncture? In regards to your very clever Make America Great Again slogan, what role did you play in the fall of America? How did you help prevent it? Did business practices and alliances like yours partake in overhauls and lack of support of the small guy here in New York City? Have you anything to do with the perceived decline of New York City culture? What did you do to keep jobs in New York and in the country to people that wasn't serving under the Trump name or establishment? Did you also partake in many of the same actions you accuse some people of doing? And is the spotlight gonna be too much for you? What role did you play in the fall of America? This is the real world, Donnie. Donnie boy. Some you have not that much experience with. Regardless, many people do feel challenged to be a better person and to make sure the legacy of the great leaders before stands stronger than ever thanks to you. You've been called a genius, a racist, a visionary, a liar, a savior, a few things that you've been called, but you are definitely not stupid. Foolish, maybe. Your initial responses to serious allegations, such as the suspected hack breach by Russians or any foreign alliance or intel official, as complete hearsay, then your fifth grade comeback to Miss Merrill was troubling, indeed, giving both of their reputations on-record activities. Then to mock the agencies like the CIA that are supposed to protect you was quite perplexing. That will be something to monitor. Your admiration for Vladimir is very obvious and troubling. You've been on record praising other dictators and saying words like Nazi with no proper regard. What else have you been saying behind closed doors? I don't want to know because I probably do know. You love anything that is military, Americana propaganda, which can correlate with false flag possibilities to further some overseas agenda like more oil, more money, and more death. Everyone from the real elites to the homeless fellas on Fifth Ave will be eager to see how you move. I am eager to see you find God. Until that point, symbolically, I do not feel you can morally lead the world. Not only can your legitimacy be questioned, but your American heart can be also. How much quality, self-motive, free time have you spent with heroes of this country, service people who are hurting? What about the people who are jobless, homeless, who are in dire need of financial help, even the ones that support you? You haven't been on the foundation, on the backbone of the heartland. Real Americans know they don't always have to agree, but they do have to show the minimum acceptable respect to everyone to be considered a real American. It's still left secret, but a few shades of your true colors have been revealed. As you know, there are a few things the almighty dollar cannot buy. Cosmic karma can heal all. God can show you right and wrong. The first step is opening your heart so your mind can follow. The abandon you have for your followers is worth noting. You have willing hypnotized participants to help hatch any plan you may be cooking up. You are having fun on the throne, but at what cost? Your prior foreign policy statements and your business venture resume may indicate that it may be difficult for those in need of available resources across the globe to receive them. Do not play keep away with goods that should be used for good. There will never, ever be a positive military or militia war on this earth's soil, water, or atmosphere ever again. Mother Nature needs us to need it to need us. You're going to aim to take responsibility for the great achievements set to happen in the upcoming years by people of this earth, but it's exactly the opposite. According to the laws of physics, people outside of DC and TT will be leading the way and illuminating the vision. The mortals who defend the immortal will rise. The Carpe Diem crusade will be one through peace, and people young and old, strong and sick will create. It will be a renaissance of life. There will be a renaissance of life during the years of your presidency. There will be new ways to get water to Africa, food to Asia, medicine to South America, everywhere in between, led by us visionaries. Because it's all of our duties to keep this whole planet great. It's all of our duties. We owe it to each other, the ones before us, the ones after us, to hold anyone like you accountable, and to know that even someone like you, Mr. Trump, can see the real light. A little asterisk. I did enjoy seeing you some weeks ago photo with Kanye West. Although many people on both sides of your support circle do not enjoy it, he is the only A-list celebrity living with the more fragile mental framework and is more detached from his soul and God than you. He is leading people to believe he is something that he is not. Kanye. God works in mysterious ways. Did God itself secure your victory for a greater good down the road? Any one of God's children, including you, can cleanse their souls, Regardless of anyone's free will done on this earth, the path of the light will be shown to all. This is the only letter I will ever write to you. May God be with you, Mr. Trump. If anyone needs me at all to elaborate, you can find me at Zane, California at Gmail. That is ZAEN, California at gmail.com. And also at the end of the letter, this is the second time I read it. The first time I left a lot of things out at the bottom. This just says, with love, respect, and power. I'm a whole name, but for now, just call me Zane. And this was fully written on January 17th, 3 days before the inauguration. And, you know what, Mr. President? This is the only letter I will ever write to you, but I'd be honored for a sit down with you, because I want to help this planet, because I'm on here too. I'm an American, but most importantly, I'm a citizen of this earth. It doesn't matter if I'm a black man. Listen, a lot of things can be fixed. Some things cannot. But just like you put yourself to be perceived in a certain way, here I am too. Are we actually very different, Mr. Trump? Are me and you actually the same thing? There's reasons. The all-seeing eye will reveal itself. There's reasons why the moon rotates the earth, why this earth is mostly water. There's reasons why there's a pyramid on a dollar bill. There's reasons. I will return.